What if you could hit the fast forward button on your career? Skip years of study, avoid that mountain of debt, and land a really great, well paying job. Well, today we're diving into the world of 6 month certificate programs. These things are a powerful shortcut that's totally reshaping how we think about building a career. Let's get into it. So, let me just ask you this question right up front. What if, instead of thinking in terms of years, you could completely relaunch your career in just 6 months? It's a pretty wild idea, right? But as you're about to see, it's way more realistic than you might think. For the longest time, a 4 year degree was seen as the golden ticket, the only real path to a successful career. But that's just not the world we live in anymore. That whole landscape is shifting. Today, a lot of people are facing what we could call the degree dilemma, where that old traditional path just doesn't line up with today's reality. I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got the traditional path. We're talking 4+ years of your life, a ton of student debt, and a huge delay before you even start earning real money. And on the other side, that's today's goal. A high-paying job, the exact skills that are in demand right now, and a super fast launch. See the problem? It's a total mismatch. So, how do we bridge that gap? How do you get from point A to point B without spending years doing it? Well, that brings us to the 6 month solution. These programs are specifically designed to be a direct route, a straight shot to the skills employers are desperately looking for. So, what exactly are we talking about here? It's important to get this right. Don't think of these as some kind of watered-down degree. Think of them more like a laser-focused training mission. They cut out all the fluff and teach you the specific practical skills you need for a specific job. And the best part? They're often online and way, way cheaper. Okay, this all sounds really promising. I get it. But here's the million-dollar question, right? Does any of this actually work in the real world? Do employers really respect these certificates? Let's stop talking theory and look at the actual evidence. Get ready for this number, because it's a big one. A massive 87.4% of employers say they are willing to hire candidates with online credentials. That old stigma? It's pretty much gone. What matters now is what you can do, not where you learned how to do it. And check out the financial impact. This isn't just for people starting from scratch either. Let's say you're a history major. You go out and get a data analysis certificate. Boom, your starting salary can jump by 36%. That's the difference between $40,000 and $55,000 a year. It shows you can use these to supercharge a degree you already have. And don't for a second think this is just a tech thing. It's not. I mean, look at these median salaries for jobs you can train for in 6 months. Over 61 grand for an electrician, almost 57,000 for a real estate broker, over 52,000 for a medical coder. These are solid, respectable, well-paying careers you can start in under a year. The opportunities here are just incredibly diverse. So let's take a quick tour through a few of the key industries where these certificates are creating some amazing pathways to great jobs. All right, let's start with tech, because this is a total game changer. You've got companies like Google who are basically saying, hey, we're not just going to wait around for universities to produce the talent we need. They're creating their own talent pipeline with certificates in things like data analytics and UX design. This is training by the industry for the industry. It's brilliant. Then you have healthcare, which is another field that is absolutely exploding. With programs as short as 4 to 12 weeks, yeah, just a few weeks, you can become a certified nursing assistant, a phlebotomy technician, or a medical assistant. These are absolutely essential jobs, and they're a fast, stable way into a booming industry. And we absolutely cannot forget the skilled trades. The demand for electricians, masons, and HVAC mechanics is just through the roof. These certificate programs are hands-on, and they lead to essential, really well-paying careers. And the key thing here? You can't outsource these jobs, and the demand is only getting stronger. So maybe at this point you're thinking, okay, this sounds pretty good. I'm interested. But with all the options out there, how in the world do you pick the right program for you? Let's break down the strategy. Okay, let's use project management as a perfect example of how this can work like a career ladder. You can start with something called the CAPEM certificate. That's for beginners, gets your foot in the door. Then, once you have some real experience, you level up to the PMP. That's the gold standard in the industry, and it's what really unlocks those higher salaries. So, if you're ready to start looking, here's a really simple 4-step guide to follow. First, you gotta know what you're aiming for. Then, do your homework. Make sure the program is actually respected. Step 3 is the math part. Is the cost worth the potential pay bump? And finally, just pick a format, online, in person, that actually fits your life. It's a smart way to make sure you're investing in yourself wisely. So when you put this all together, the picture becomes really, really clear, doesn't it? This isn't just some alternative path anymore. For a lot of people, this is a better, faster, and frankly, smarter path. It really is your career accelerated. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Listen to this from Kyle, who just graduated from one of these programs. He said, and I quote, "It was life-changing," and that he landed a higher-paying job within weeks of finishing. That's the real-world impact we're talking about, a direct line from learning to earning. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought. For just a moment, forget about the next 4 years. Instead, I want you to ask yourself, what valuable, in-demand skill could you completely master in the next 6 months? Because the answer to that question could be the start of a whole new chapter for you.